Good evening, Karina Carvalho with ABC News. Malcolm Turnbull has given an upfront commitment Australia would join the United States if military conflict breaks out with North Korea. He made the declaration after a phone call with US Vice President Mike Pence and comes as Donald Trump makes dire threats to Kim Jong-un to ditch plans for missile tests directed at Guam. Here's National Affairs correspondent Greg Jennett.
Hello, everybody.
The pleasantry was fleeting.
They can be very, very nervous.
The hostilities protracted.
Things will happen to them like they never thought possible, okay?
At his White House in New Jersey, the Commander-in-Chief at his 2IC threw down the gauntlet to Kim Jong-un.
He does something in Guam, it will be an event the likes of which nobody's seen before, what will happen in North Korea.
Sound dialogue is not possible with such a guy, bereft of reason, who is going senile. Only absolute force can work on him.
The North Koreans are plotting their boldest provocation yet, a supersonic 17-minute test firing of their Hwasong-2 missile to splash down 40 kilometres off the coast of Guam.
He's not going to go around threatening Guam, and he's not going to threaten the United States.
The territories of beachhead America spilled blood to control 73 years ago. Now home to massive bomber and naval assets, the US threatens to treat any test as the real deal. And it's calling in friends to help.
As I discussed with Vice President Pence last night.
Malcolm Turnbull had spoken to Mike Pence before his council of war with the president. It left him in publicly sworn allegiance to go all the way with the USA.
The ANZUS treaty means that if America is attacked, we will come to their aid. If Australia is attacked, the Americans will come to our aid.
Diplomacy and sanctions remain the first priority, but if President Trump orders military action, Australia's in too. Unusually, the Prime Minister's invoking the ANZUS treaty before any strife breaks out, citing clauses that when one country suffers an armed attack on the island territories under its jurisdiction in the Pacific, the other declares that it would act to meet the common danger.
The last thing we need here is a Prime Minister backing an unhinged and paranoid leader into a conflict.
We are joined at the hip. The American alliance is the bedrock of our national security.
A preemptive pledge of support to US military conflict scenarios Australia could barely imagine is controversial enough. Add in the wildcard Trump factor and it's doubly remarkable. But the Prime Minister didn't just stumble into making it. His office assures it was done advisedly and that there's still enough room left for Australia to decide what form any contribution would take once conflict had broken out. If it makes Australia a North Korean target, then America would have to be called in because, unlike Guam and South Korea, Defence has told the government Australia's north is too vast for a missile shield system to protect it. Greg Jennett, ABC News, Canberra.
Any American military response to tests near its territories risks what the Prime Minister calls shocking consequences with enormous casualties. Defence reporter Andrew Green examines what role Australia might have to play.
The Air Force has just taken possession of the aircraft that'll train the next generation of fighter pilots, and the government's now openly contemplating where their next mission may be.
We regard the North Korean regime's actions as provocative, as dangerous and as seriously destabilising.
At the end of fighting in the Korean War, an uneasy armistice was struck. The 1953 agreement commits Australia to defending the South if the North ever attacks. But if Pyongyang decides to strike the United States, another 1950s document could prompt action. The ANZUS treaty's only been activated once before, but military chiefs are on notice.
Australia is preparing our Defence Force under the guidance of the government. We bring forward all of the changes that happen around the world.
So, what are Australia's military options if the ANZUS treaty is invoked? Australian warships are equipped with regular missile defences, but so far they aren't protected against ballistic weapons. RAAF Hornets are already deployed with American aircraft in the Middle East and could be sent to the Korean Peninsula. And the secretive Pine Gap Joint Intelligence Facility in the Northern Territory would play a crucial role in any conflict, potentially making it a target for North Korean missiles. For now, America's Defence Secretary is hoping peace will prevail.
The tragedy of war is well enough known. It doesn't need another characterization beyond the fact that it would be catastrophic.
But if diplomacy fails,
war with North Korea is going to be an incredibly costly, dangerous, tragic outcome. This could easily be the worst war the world has seen since the Second World War.
Something no amount of military planning can avoid. Andrew Green, ABC News, Canberra.